Timmer who pointed that out as well.
Yeah, it was Timmer.
What beast? I feel like I haven't spoken to Timmer in ages.
I've never heard that name.
He's been in the chat. I mean, to be fair, he used to listen quite a lot, but I feel like I haven't spoke to him in a while on the poddy.
Yeah, he's doing his thing on Twitter. Updating the wiki doc, scrolling through job listings. He's got a big talent. He's got stamina. That man has stamina. That's what I'll say.
Stamina.
Yeah, he's got stamina. Yeah, audio's fixed.
Fuego.
OBS.
Fuego. OBS doing OBS
so let's just
things.
get straight into it, I suppose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, foil anyone? Alright. Yeah, we're jingling.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 156 of the Quick Resume podcast. It's the week, it's the day where the Switch 2 got revealed. Hey, it finally happened. It's also 1 week before the developer direct. So there's lots of good stuff to talk about today. Joining me is handsome man number 1. Who's good?
Oh, is it gonna be me?
And handsome man number 2.
Oh God, he doesn't even give us names.
I was waiting for one of you to jump in,
Diplomatic.
but I could see it was causing a bit of push and pull. So for now, you're just NPCs, handsome man, NPC 1 and 2.
Thanks.
So, fellas, how are we doing on this glorious day? There's a lot of buzz going on. How are we feeling?
Doing good. Doing all right, thank you.
Yeah, not bad. Tired.
Good.
Got a bit of a headache, but
Man, you're a big,
You look like
you're a
you've
big
got a
headache
headache.
sufferer, aren't you?
yeah, I have a lot. I get headaches quite a lot. I think it's just, I don't know if it's just the whole screen thing. Like, I just stare at a screen for 9 hours at work, log off, and my hobbies are staring at screens. So I'm probably, I'm literally probably staring at screens for like 13 hours a day, if not more.
Damn.
It's just quite a lot.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm quite screeny, but I have 2 days a week where I'm like working, like seeing people in person, so that helps. But between clients, I'm back on the screen. But I think I'm probably a bit not, it's not as bad as you. What about you, Kaden? Are you a screeny worker?
I'm about 50-50. So let's say I've got a 6-hour workday. I might have 3 hours on the screen, and 3 hours not.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, to be fair though, if you were working on a screen, Kaden, you'd be fucked. Like, there's no way you'd be able to pay attention if you were on the screen all the time.
What do you mean?
Nothing. I didn't.
It's just out of nowhere, just shots fired. So
Is
unnecessary.
is that not fair to say?
Yeah,
I ain't gonna comment.
I just want to hear you say it.
Oh, okay. But so it's like we were saying earlier. It's like for me, if I was on the screen all the time, I'd be fucked. All right. Shall we get into what we've been playing for this week?
Of course.
Go for it.
Tim,
Ooh.
what we've been playing? What we've been doing?
What have I been playing this week? I played more Octopath 2. Still getting on with that. I had some random ass fucking skill check just out of nowhere. I really hate it when games do that. Just FYI. I don't like it when the game is just fine for like 10 hours and then suddenly it just pushes your shit in out of nowhere. Like, I like to have a little bit of like a curve going up to ease me into it. I just think it's really weird when games do that. It's almost like they were like, oh, shit, we forgot we needed to challenge the player. They're over 10 hours in. All right, let's just crank this fucker all the way up. And then
Get skill check, dickhead.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It feels a bit weird. It kind of annoys me when games do that. I kind of like it to feel a little bit natural. But and I'm like 2 levels over the recommended for what it says for this point in the game as well. It says that on the map.
Is that like
I didn't Google it.
Is that like the first time the game has like felt hard?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing it for like 10 hours now, and I've never felt like the game has been very difficult at all. Like, I've never like KO'd or like whited out, lost all my party members, all that sort of stuff. never done any of that. And then I gave this guy like 2 attempts yesterday, which they're like the boss fight's like 20 minutes as well. And then when you fail as well, it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's just really annoying. But apart from that being a little bit annoying, yeah, still great. Still having a good time with it. And I don't think I have been playing anything else this week. Well, we played some Diablo earlier this week. And we have been playing Diablo as well. Yeah. So yeah, that was good. Yeah. We I don't know if we spoke when did we speak about it last week? Did we start it last week? Yeah.
I don't remember, you know.
I'm pretty sure we did.
I'm quite confident we did.
Yeah, so
I think we started our new characters over the weekend, didn't we? Because
yeah, we did. Yeah, because Caden was away, so yeah, we started, and we ended up just going to our OGs. So I started another rogue just to see how the rogue feels now in season whatever the hell we're on. And Deck did the same with what's he called again? I always forget his name. Druid. That's it. Yeah. So, and yeah, Diablo's been really good. I've been enjoying that. So, yeah, hopefully we'll probably wrap up the expansion this weekend. Maybe I've got a pretty empty weekend to be fair, but Caden not around again this weekend. 2 weekends not around.
Hey, I've got a life now. I'm afraid.
Oh, God,
he's not around now, and he's also not around for Monster Hunter
life, and that's
for
it.
3 weeks.
Yeah, that was a blow I was not ready to take today, Caden. that hit me pretty.
You're
hard,
always ready for a blow. Come on.
Not that kind of blow. That hit me pretty hard, man. That you're not going to be around for Monster Hunter. That's really disappointing.
Well, you think it hurts you, do you? You think?
Yeah, I think it hurt me the most. In fact, I don't think you have a leg in this race. Yeah, so
it really is.
And I think that's about it.
That does mean I think I'll get a couple of days back from working away, and then I'm going to take leave. So I'm basically going to have like a whole week of just Monster Hunter.
Okay, so you can play catch up, but Monster Hunter is really awkward because like you're playing catch up, but then like you're losing out. Like it's one of those games where playing catch up and doing it solo. It's not the point of catching up. It's just hunting shit for the first time with a group of people. Is what's the fun part of Monster Hunter.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, you're just going to miss out that little bit because
I'm going to have my ROG with me, so I'm going to see what I can do, but I doubt that's going to run it on the ROG.
Unless they've done some very good optimizations.
I doubt it.
You'll have to crank it down so it looks worse.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to try, but I doubt it's going to run at all.
Yeah, give it a go. And no, apart from those 2 games, I don't think I've been playing anything else this week. So yeah, that's me.
Nice. Caden, shall I go or do you want to jump in?
Mine are very quick. Like, I'm still kind of bouncing around the same kind of smaller games. So still playing a bit of Smite 2. Been playing the new Marvel Rivals update. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah, we gave it a little while.
Woman. Oh, did you? Oh, okay, so that's with Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic, and they're both really good fun. I really like.
Get up and do the walk for us,
I got the Invisible Woman skin because I actually really like the character.
No, you didn't.
Sake, Katie.
You lost it to the Gooners. You lost it to the Gooners.
God's sake, man.
Sitting there finger gunning. Yeah.
That's ridiculous,
you
man.
can't stop me. So I did that, and the battle pass is obviously fantastic, and the map's good fun. So been playing that. Played a lot more Black Myth Wukong. Like that's been really, really good fun. That's like
nice.
my main.
How have you found that? I'm interested.
Loving it. Really, really enjoying it. I just had a boss fight. It's part of the trailer. You know the massive tiger.
Not really. I haven't really been.
It's pretty sure it's part of the trailer. But he's like a really fucking shredded, like huge tiger that does like really slow, methodical, like karate almost kind of fighting. It's fucking cool. It's really, really awesome boss.
Is that Emmerich Voss? Is that who you were fighting?
Maybe. But like you're fighting him in this like blood pit, and it's just cool. He's just really fucking cool.
Do you agree if that game? Because wasn't there this whole fucking back and forth of people like it's not a Souls-like? Do you say it's a Souls-like?
Well, yeah, it is a Souls-like, like at its core, you know, obviously not open world, but you know, the same kind of linearity.
Open zone.
Yeah, open zone. That's a better way of putting it. And then, like, you obviously make your way through, and there's multiple bosses, and once you kill a boss, you might unlock a different zone, and then you go to that new zone and do another boss.
There's no like
NPCs dotted
resource
around.
loss though, is there? Or is
No,
there?
there's no souls. There's no. It's just XP. Like you just build XP.
Not
So
Souls-like.
there's no risk to dying. Obviously, it's got the same combat structure and its same difficulty kind of structure as Souls-like, but it hasn't got that like
just an action game.
risk. Yeah.
It's just an action game with the difficulty cranked slightly. Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
like playing
so
God of War on hard mode.
Yeah.
Funky.
Really good fun. I'm really liking it.
Is it? Do you think from what you've played so far? How much have you played so far? Like, give me an hour like count.
Give me a second. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
10 hours.
10 hours. Okay. So from your time that you've played so far, do you think the quality level is high enough that it deserves to stand up among, the Game of the Year candidates for 2024?
I mean, I believe it. I can see it. I can absolutely see it.
You can understand.
I can see it absolutely. I do think it's unfair to say it doesn't belong up there. I do understand it maybe didn't score as highly as the other games, but then again, I didn't play the other big games. I didn't play Metaphor. I didn't play Final Fantasy.
Astrobot.
Didn't play Astrobot.
How the
like
fuck
that, so-
Balatro got in there? Jesus.
Hey!
Okay.
Hey!
Yeah, well, I've been playing that again as well, Balatro. Like that's
It's
one of those
alright.
games I think I've always been playing. Like
I haven't
it's on my
started
phone.
to-
It's on my phone. So if I've got 20 minutes, I'll just do a quick little run.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But that'll go on to your games played now, I guess, because you've been playing a lot of Balatro, haven't you? Back into it.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's one of those that I'm like, if I'm between games, it's really good. If I'm like, just got a minute or I want to play at bedtime, but I want to be in bed, it's like, it works really great on the cloud. So I haven't been playing it loads, but time does fly when you're playing Balatro.
Yeah.
Like that game has
There's such a nice feeling when you have
time consuming qualities.
that Joker, they just link perfectly. You're just
Yeah.
like, it feels.
And then the noises are so satisfying. It's like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Your numbers going up. It's
Yeah.
great.
I have it on fast mode because I obviously can't wait for the cards to.
No, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it. I think I have it on the second. So a bit quicker than normal, but not the mega quick one because I really felt that would give me panic attacks.
That's why I've got it on.
like if I was listening to something on like ×4 speed, that's what it would kind of make me
I need
feel
that
like.
stress. I need that
Yeah.
Yeah.
The adrenaline of it. Sweet. Well, I wanted to talk about Armored Core 6. I've started Armored Core 6, been playing that this week, and I think I owe Tim money. I'm not sure.
You owe me money, yeah.
Personally. So maybe we'll just call it even with like God of War, what you've been playing. Have you still been playing that? 'Cause you said last week.
No, we didn't play it this week. We normally play it on like Wednesdays, but we went out and had an all-you-can-eat fucking tapas at Las Iguanas.
Las
Have you
Iguanas.
guys ever been to one of those?
Yeah.
They're really
Yeah.
loud. The food's good, but they're loud as fuck.
Yeah.
Cheeky little cocktail.
It wasn't actually that loud, no.
Oh, okay.
And no, we didn't do cocktail, no. I got a beer, but Tilly was driving, so because apparently in January they and it's only in the month of January they do unlimited tapas for like £15 a head. So you
Can you
just,
say that
Yeah,
word
I
again?
didn't know.
Can you say that word again?
tapas.
In Spanish. Caden.
Tapas.
It's
yeah,
the
you're
wo-
supposed
it's
to
the
pronounce
word
it
of his-
tapas, yeah.
It's the word of his people.
But you're not saying it right then.
I am saying tapas.
No, you didn't. You didn't say that.
I got Nino Queen.
Oh no, you ripping packs during my story. But yeah, so
Go on, carry on. Sorry.
it was just nice. It was just good value and stuff like that. But yeah, and we also watched Wicked as well. So Wicked was
What did you?
I thought it was quite
actually
good, like
yeah,
despite
like
the other shit.
I didn't think I was much of like a musical sort of movie guy, but genuinely had a really good time. Yeah, it was actually a really good movie.
Have you seen La La Land or the other one with Hugh Jackman?
No,
Greatest
no,
Showman.
no, I haven't seen
Greatest
either of
Showman.
those. No, I heard the Greatest
I
Showman.
don't consider
was pretty
myself.
good, but-
Yeah, I don't consider myself. Well, La La Land did it win the Oscar that year? I think it did.
Yeah, I think it did.
I don't consider myself a musical person, and I'm like, I don't love those movies, but like, I'm watching them like, oh, I get it. Like, I think I get it. This is quite fun. So
Mhm.
I'm with you. Like, I'm never like excited to watch a musical, but I can understand it and come along for the ride when I'm watching a good
Yeah,
one.
I would never like actively like choose it, but yeah, if someone's just like, I'm going out, do you want to come with me? I'm like, yeah, fine, why not?
Sure.
Anyway,
And then you leave like, I wanna be popular.
yeah, that was a fucking bop. Yeah, that was great. But yeah, anyway, got sidetracked. But no, yeah, we didn't play God of War
Okay, great.
yesterday because of that. Yeah.
Right. So Armoured Core 6. This is a weird game. This is a way weirder game than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. Just in its like structure, it's very like non-From Softy, and you can definitely tell it's their B team. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like the budget. It's scoped. They've scoped it in a very particular way. Like the game, like the loop is do mission. Mission sometimes very short. Sometimes missions 4 or 5 minutes if you get through quickly.
Like,
It's not called. It's not called a mission.
Mission short.
It's not called
Sorry,
a mission.
sortie.
There you go.
Sortie, very short.
Short sortie.
Shorty.
He knocked out his internet cable. He knocked out his internet cable.
Well, he's still in the chat, so he's not, has he?
Yeah. No. He has. He has. Discord just has this thing where you can kind of like hang about to come back in.
Bless him.
So
he just gets so excited talking about shorties.
I don't know why he flings his hands everywhere. He's so like, why is he
so
just
flamboyant.
fucking?
It's not. It's no.
Oh.
No, because you know the tiny bits that go into the mag, like there's nothing holds them together, so it just slips out. It's annoying as hell.
What's wrong with that, dude?
Like the USB dock that goes into the side of it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking
I have one going in right now. Yeah, I mean, just prop it up with something so gravity's not pulling it down.
Yeah.
On a stand, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not important. So you do mission. Sometimes mission's very short. Sortie is very short. Sometimes sortie is quite long. And then you come out mission, before going in and coming out of mission, you get dialogue. Like it just like exposition talks at you, and then you like go into your shop, modify your mech, decide what you want to do. And that loop is quite fun. But like God is the story like just so disengaging. It's told in such a boring way. There's no cutscenes really. You get the occasional cutscene if you're fucking lucky. But for the most part, you click mission and it's just two voices having a back and forth, or voice talking to you, and like literally a line wiggling on the screen.
Yeah.
Like it's really disengaging. Like I find myself just like not caring about the story, which is a shame because like some of the things you're doing on the planets you're on, you're like, what is going on here? Like it's such a very like high sci-fi world. Like the first planet you are on, which you may even be on most of the time, there's like cities and infrastructure built up like thousands of miles above the ground. So like you're on the ground of the planet and you look up and there's just like metal like structures way above you. Like it's crazy, but like the game just doesn't tell you this stuff in any interesting way.
Does it have the same
So that
kind
does
of
suck.
like does it have the same like narrative like the Souls-like games where it's the narrative, I guess,
I wouldn't say
within
so.
the world, and you have to like pick
No.
up through like items.
It's like you're on a
stuff,
fucking
no?
radio call from
No.
like Metal Gear Solid. That's like the entire game. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's really disengaging. Like occasionally something will happen and it'll prick your ear, and you'll get the main story beats. And you can tell at times they do try to like make some of the bigger story beats happen in missions. So you pick up on the important stuff, but everything in between, it's like, man, I don't care. But the actual gameplay, like, whoa, this is not like anything I've played before. It's like you're just fucking boosting around. I've got this like laser shotgun. I'm blasting rockets. You're timing your dodges. You're like trying to play into how you've made your core. And like if you die, the game's pretty forgiving. It's just like, do you want to go back into the assembly? Try something else out. You can get these reverse joint legs so that you can fucking bunny hop everywhere. To like save fuel. Like there's all sorts of like really cool combinations. There's loads of combinations, and that is really fun. That's like right up my alley, like the tinkering, and this like really high action gameplay. So the gameplay is really fun and it feels very fresh. I haven't really played much like it. And the actual loop of the game is really fun too. And the visuals are nice. The only problem I've had with the visuals is like it sets you to performance mode by default, which seems to just run at 60. But the game is really soft. Like it feels like it's maybe running at like 900p or 1080p. I don't know. The game just feels really soft, and especially for a game which is so like mechanical. There's lots of like edges and shit, which I just feel like it's especially bad for this sort of game. I don't know. So I ended up going back onto quality mode, and for the most part, it feels like it's running. It's not locked, but it feels like it's like 50 to 60 frames most of the time. So I'm just saying on quality mode, which is like quite rare for a game like this. You'd have thought no way, but it actually performs pretty well. There's like the very occasional drop, but it's worth it in my opinion for the game to look like much more visually impressive in motion. So yeah, it's cool. I'd like give it maybe an 8 so far. I think it's really good. It feels quite fresh. It's very weird. It's like weird to get used to, but it's got the gameplay is like really fun, and there's like arenas with 1v1s you can do. Yeah, I'm having a really good time. I'm really digging it. I'm hoping like the story picks up and there are some other beats in there that make that side of the game shine a bit more, because the world is really interesting. Like the universe is really interesting. Like the game, I don't know if you guys have like know anything about it, but like the premise of the game is set on like this massive intergalactic fire which swept through the solar system. On one of the planets they find coral which seems to be connected to that fire, and coral is just like seems to be connected to that fire somehow. So it's just like, yo, the fucking intergalactic fire. There's this like high demand resource which seems to be connected to the fire. And so, you know, it's interesting. And basically it is corporation bad. Like that is the story. But it's not just corporation bad. It's like the corporations are so intergalactically powerful. They're basically gods. Like they're basically gods. Like they just nuke planets. They send down giant lasers from the sky to wipe out colonies. Like there are like 4 or 5 competing corporations that are basically gods, which is like it's like kicks it up a notch compared to other games of corporation bad. So yeah, that's what I would say. I'd recommend it for sure. It's very unique, and I'm not a mech guy really, but I think this is cool. It has its hooks in me. So yeah, it's fun.
Nice. Good stuff.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about was Nine Souls. I booted up Nine Souls because they have changed the way Game Pass quests work, where you need to like play a Game Pass game for 15 minutes. And I was like, oh, I'll try something, whatever. Boot up Nine Souls because I know some people have been talking about it this year. And like I played and I was like, this is okay. This seems like it's going to be a pretty bog standard 2D side scroller with maybe, you know, some cool combat. And it's like you're playing as a fucking cat. There's this little kid and okay, it's like clearly heavily it's got this heavy kind of Chinese inspiration. And then some crazy shit happens, Tim and Caden. I don't know if you know anything about this game.
I do know
some crazy shit happens.
I mean, I've seen it and it looks
I'm like, what the
cute.
fuck is going on here? Oh my god. And like then I start fighting and it's like Sekiro combat, and I know they sell the game as that, but I just hadn't heard of that before. So what I mean by that is that it's a parry heavy game. Like the game wants you to parry, and you're like a little, you know, it's like really anime. He like fucking parries with his fingers, and then you like teleport behind them and they blow up. Like it's really violent and gory as well. I was amazed.
That's not what I thought.
No, I was like amazed. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm going back to it now, like every couple of days, just like between my Armored Core sessions.
Yeah. Well, because I heard
like,
that didn't review very well, did it? But I just went on to Steam then.
Yeah, it did.
95
very well.
positive. I did it. Okay.
Yeah, it's got an 85 on OpenCritic. But yeah, I know it's done one on Steam as well. But I would so recommend this for a Game Pass game.
Interesting. I might put that on my ROG. That sounds like
definitely. Oh, it'd be perfect for your ROG. Like this feels like it's gonna be amazing, and the story is like so interesting. I'm so baffled. I've never seen anything like this. So yeah, big recommend from that as well.
Nice.
All right. Shall we get into the Switch?
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Let's
do it. A bit of a switch.
Same thing.
Hey. It's making me want to switch to a Steam Deck. Am I right?
Is that what you
You
were
actually
talking about
wrote
earlier?
that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had to remind myself. Yeah, that's what I've forgotten. Or I've messed it up in some way.
Makes me want to Steam Deck a Switch too.
Oh man. So
That, yeah.
what were like initial reactions here? Like, what is this in line with expectations, or like not, or whatever? Like, what are we feeling?
I mean, it's funny because the Switch 2, sorry, the Switch. Am I right in saying it is the most successful console? Did it overtake the PS2?
Well,
I think so.
technically no, because Sony keeps conveniently reporting that they're still selling PS2s.
Oh, I see.
It's very suspicious. It's
Yeah.
like they're buying their own stock so they can like put the numbers up and
Got
keep
it.
holding that title. So as far as official numbers go, no, it seems
Fair.
like it really kind of is and should and will. But that's only for home console. 3DS out has still DS has still a better selling console than the Switch.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But anyway,
Yeah.
the Switch is, I think, and no one here would argue that it's not sold a fuck ton.
No, oh god,
And
yeah.
to be honest, rightly so. I think it
Raging
fits,
success.
Yeah, and I think it fits what it's aiming for perfectly. Right? It's
Yep.
a small little guy.
That's what I've always said. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's an amazing console. And I think all they really have to do for the Switch 2 is make it more powerful. Right? That's kind of all they have to do. Now, have they released
specs?
Have they released like spec? There we go. That's the word. Because obviously, looking at the reveal trailer, it's a pretty looking console, but it is just a Switch 2. It's
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like it's a
It-
slightly
they
bigger
released-
Switch. The controller is exactly the same but bigger. They've changed the colors and they've got magnets on it. Some nice changes and a stand which they made a really big deal out of.
I mean, the Switch has a
console
stand anyway. It's just a better one.
A better stand. So my initial impressions are cool. You know, glad to see there's a new Switch. Glad to see it's a little bit bigger. But I really just want to see how well that thing's going to perform because I think that's. I don't know. Yeah, that's all it is for me. Really, I'm interested to see how much of an upgrade it is from the Switch.
I've got somebody posted a chart. Hang on, here it is. I just found it. It's hard for me. Maybe I can share my screen. Just for your guys' sake, maybe not for viewers, but if you're watching live, I'm sure you'll be able to see this as well. Holy shit! No, maybe I can't do this, or maybe I can.
He's panicking. Share
Tim, I'm
screen.
scared.
Do it.
I'm really panicking, dude.
Ruin it.
Just close all
Ruin
your porn tabs. Just make sure those are closed.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. Okay. Right. They're closed. This work.
It's
Can you see that?
It's kind of skewed everyone's face cams.
I know.
Worth it.
But can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. So that's what we're looking at. So we're looking at quite like a substantial upgrade, and that's leaked. So like this isn't formal yet. But this the same person who leaked this got like everything else right. So this seems to be probably fair to say. So just for audio listeners, the chart we're looking at basically shows that the Switch handheld was 192 gigaflops. So we're back to flops. Whereas the Switch 2 in handheld mode is 1.7 gigaflops. So we're looking at like an 8 times more powerful
teraflop,
device.
am I right? You seem to be teraflop.
That's a teraflop. Did I not say that?
No,
he was saying teraflops, wasn't he?
He said gigaflop.
I thought
he did say
okay,
gigaflop.
Whatever.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
And then the Switch, when it was docked, had 393 gigaflops versus the Switch 2, when it's docked, is going to have 3.1 teraflops. So again, we're probably looking at that. That's just over a factor of 10, actually.
Yeah, over 10 times powerful. Yeah.
I think if I read correctly, this puts it in the range of somewhere between the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X.
Okay.
It puts us in that territory as the mid-gen refreshes last gen. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's. Actually, I can check that. Right, I'm gonna stop sharing this.
Yeah, no, I saw that graph as well. Yeah, because I think I agree with mostly what Caden was saying. Hang on, let me just close I need to close the stream apparently.
Actually, no, the Xbox One X was 6 teraflops.
But yeah, everything else apart from I kind of want to know just like what resolution the screen is going to be at, size and dimensions of the screen as well. in comparison to the regular Switch. And yeah, I'm just kind of just interested in just how powerful it is, because apart from that, it wasn't very exciting. But I
No.
think that's how we all
Doesn't need to
predicted
be.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when we were talking about it a few weeks ago, like they just need to do what they're already doing and just make it a bit more powerful. Just juice it up a little bit. So it was never really going to be a super exciting reveal, but and yeah, it'd be interesting. I do quite like the controllers. They just kind of like magnet snap in now, which will be
Well, the amount of times you put the controller in upside down and you're just like, oh fuck, and then you have to try and not snap it off.
yeah. It would just be interesting to see how much they've stress tested that, because yeah, that sort of stuff might become faulty.
Serious gaming.
Yeah, especially if
Do
you're
you not
snapping
wonder how
it in and
kids
out.
are going to work with that? Like kids who like
Yeah.
move around and shit. Is that not going to fall out? I don't know. I mean, like you say, I'm
Yeah.
sure it is busted, but it does feel like
I wonder
maybe
if
it does
well-
click into place.
Yeah, if it does a magnet and then a click, like
Yes,
in order for it to
yeah.
disconnect, you might have to, the little buttons on the back of the controllers. Yeah, but I reckon maybe they're there.
Maybe
There
those
must
for
be.
safety. Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise it could be a bit fragile. And yeah, who knows if they're going to have the same issues of like stick drift and how they've improved those controllers and everything like that. More features there. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I actually kind of don't like the look of it. I kind of
Really?
yeah,
It's
I
a bit
don't like
harsh,
that they just reversed it and just made it all black like that. I just think it's a bit boring. Like I know Tilly said the opposite. Like she actually quite liked it and it looked a bit more sleek. But I quite like the fact that the Switch was just quite colourful, just bright orange, bright blue, and then you can get other colours. I didn't mind that. Like it separates it from the consoles they're out right now, which are either just white or black. Now it's
That's
just
fair.
black. So I don't know.
Yeah,
my
I
take.
disagree with that a little bit. I do think it's quite pretty.
Well, fuck
Like
you.
I've got the Smash Bros edition of the Switch, which is like grey controllers and a grey dock, and I think it's really pretty. Like without the colours. Like me being autistic as fuck with colours, I don't like the orange and the blue. I think it freaks me out.
Right.
Or the
Why?
red. I don't know. I just don't like the contrast. It's
Do you think there are good and bad colors?
no.
Careful what you
I
say.
think they're all-
Do you think there are good and bad numbers?
No, I just like it all uniformal. Like
Didn't answer my question.
He's dodging.
no, I'm
Man's
talking about the
dodging.
red or the blue. I don't know what you're talking about. And I just don't. That's just me being anal. But
Right.
yeah, I like it nice and uniformal, nice and black, and that's quite nice.
I think as far as the console goes, like I'm with you guys. I think it's like cool. I think it looks fine. I guess my big thing with all of this, including like the actual reveal and the fanfare and everything, is that it's a little bit unexciting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not how people in Nintendo circles are feeling, but like it was a really short video. It was a cute video, like how it showed it turning into the Switch 2. I thought that was quite cute, quite well done. They teased a couple of things like maybe a mouse and the Joy-Con can turn into a mouse. You guys see that shit?
Oh, what with it running across the floor and shit?
Yeah. People are like,
mean,
it can be a mouse.
they could have put like potentially they could have like sensors there so you can use them for like specific like game features. So place
Well,
it on a
it-
flat
yeah,
surface
it's-
and you can like roll
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it snaps into if you watch it again, it snaps into like a bracket and then it goes on the floor. So I reckon that they've done just that. And I do wonder, like, what, like you said, is that just a gimmick? Like, oh, devs, by the way, if you want people to do this for like a game, you can do it. I'm trying to think how that would maybe work. Like maybe like a board game. And it's like have a coffee table in front of you, the board game's on the screen, and you can move it like tactily move stuff around the table, if you see what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I don't know, just spitballing.
Mm-hmm.
But and then it was like, oh, there's a little Mario Kart tease there, but you're not really. And then it was like, okay, fine, cool. So when you're going to show this off like properly? And it's like April. Oh,
Yeah.
in 3 months, is it?
3 months. And then and that's just going to show it off properly. Maybe a couple titles and stuff like that. But who knows when that's actually going to come out?
Yeah.
Still, like it still could be like very end of the year. I mean, they'll probably aim for a holiday release, won't they? No, Nintendo, just it will be
holiday or summer.
it will be the stock that flies off the shelves for Christmas.
I'm wondering if they'll do it with a big game, like because obviously it's backwards
It'll be Mario Kart.
compatible.
It'll be Mario Kart. They've kind of already teased it already.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Which was my prediction in the last episode.
I think
it
we
was
kind of agreed on that a little bit.
Well, I said it could be Metroid Prime 4 as well, but
I would agree with the Metroid Prime personally, but that's maybe not as mainstream as Mario Kart is a huge deal. It's you know what I mean. But I guess if we get a Mario Kart release date, we'll get a Switch 2 release window, I expect.
Yeah, I have seen that maybe they have done this so early. Either because shit was leaking everywhere and they're just like, fine, fuck it, let's just get out ahead of it. Or they're giving their publishers and developers time to put together a, like an announcement trailer or something,
Yeah, possibly.
Like it'll have to launch with, I don't know, what, 5 to 10 titles? Like it's going to be cheeky releasing just one title.
I think they'll probably just do like a couple or a few, and then they'll just be like, you can also play all of our greats at a better frame rate and a higher resolution. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
They don't need more than a couple titles, but
But you think about people upgrading to PS5s and Xbox Series X's. There wasn't really much for both.
That was the main
PS5.
thing for us, wasn't it? Yeah, it's just we can play shit at higher frame rates. That's why we bought into it.
Gears Tactics, and then I think PS5 had the Demon Souls remake, didn't they? Which is like, for most people, that's not that exciting. For most people,
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, Nintendo do tend to be quite good with this sort of stuff in terms of like launching stuff. So maybe they've Mario Kart and something else. I mean, they'll probably announce stuff for launch window, and like the timings for the next 3D Mario is probably like looking about right. It wouldn't surprise me if they announce whatever the next 3D Mario is for the end, like before the end of the year.
Yeah. If you guys were to guesstimate a price for this bad boy? What's your price point? Say a number.
I think the only reason why the Switch sold so well was because it was so well priced. It was a good price for its whole life cycle.
I'm gonna go last.
It's more powerful. I don't see it going above 400, 450 max. Maybe. Because I think that's what sold. That's why the Switch sold so well, in my opinion. I can't remember how much what it launched at, the price. I'm sure someone can tell me, but
it's a good question, actually.
Yeah. As far as I'm in my head,
350.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot at all in my head.
It was how expensive was the Switch on release?
330,
it was
350?
300 USD or 280 pounds.
Yo, they did regional pricing. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's still such a bargain. So I feel like the like
280
in order to keep up with that. Well, no, but like for the I don't know.
Series S
for Zelda, £300 for Zelda sounds pretty expensive to me.
I'm thinking
more time than that, mate.
I'm thinking 450 is like the upper limit. I'm thinking 400. I can see it being 450. I don't think it will go any more than that. If it goes any more than that, I think that's suicide. Because you've got the other options now. You've got
380. Did you just say?
Mm-hmm.
Is that as in 380 quid, but $400? Is that or $399?
Yeah, I'm gonna say anywhere between the sort of 380, our currency, 380 to 400. I think they'll want to try and be lower than other home consoles a little bit, and other handhelds and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to want to come out and have this thing be more expensive than a PS5 and be more expensive than a Series X and more expensive than a Rock Ally, all that sort of stuff. So I think they'll try and edge out the price there a little bit. Although I feel like Nintendo could charge $1 billion for it and people would still buy it. but that's just
I'll take
Nintendo.
two.
Yeah, that's just Nintendo fans. Yeah, someone's literally just like putting their child up for sale for it. You take my child.
I'm curious why are you both so sure that it's going to be like another £100 more expensive than Switch One? Like, what's the reasoning there?
It's pricing of hardware and stuff, I'm guessing. Like that's kind of my head. I think maybe stuff is more expensive nowadays than when it first released in my head. But I mean, what do you? I'm assuming you're asking that question because you think it's going to be cheaper than that,
or around the same price.
No, I guess it's just interesting, isn't it? Because when you look at the prices of consoles over the years, generally, like PS4s and Xboxes have always been around the 400, 500 mark. Like that actually hasn't, and that's why we know they take losses on consoles, because there seems to be a point around the 400, 500 mark where everybody starts saying, "Fuck that!" Like it's no longer like it becomes a luxury product rather than like an impulse buy or whatever. So I do wonder, like, how much will they subsidize it? Because I mean, that's the main thing here. Like, how much are Nintendo willing to subsidize all the costs involved? However, because as well, if you remember, like back in the day, back before our time, I don't know if you guys have like caught wind of this, but like some of the consoles back then, I think some of the Sega consoles in particular, again, like I'm sure someone would shout at me, but my understanding was some of them came out at like obscene price points. You even think about PS3 launch was like £500, wasn't it?
I remember the PS3 launch because
everyone was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Lost the because the Xbox was much cheaper, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because that's when it essentially lost that war because the Xbox was so much cheaper.
Yeah, when you factor in you have to buy 2 Xboxes a year because of the red ring of death, it wasn't really cheaper.
Yeah. I fixed mine with a hairdryer.
Did you?
Nice.
I did.
That's pretty rogue. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I fixed mine by smacking it. I do remember having I remember we used to get all like the disk drive jamming issues, and I remember at one point I literally had to smack my Xbox side to side to the point it was going like this, like a pendulum, just to get the disk drives open.
The disk drive's so easy to fix. You literally just take I remember the inside out of my Xbox 360 like it was nothing because I went inside of there so often.
So did I.
You're like a surgeon.
The disk drive is so easy to get to. That's the easiest bit.
It's probably what got you into wanting to be a technician. It's your roots, mate.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
To fix my Xbox with a hairdryer.
I can fix helicopters now.
So I've got such nice hair, and I'm a technician. I love it.
Amazing.
I love it.
You're a real specialist.
I know my trade.
So I guess that there's that on one hand, right? Of like console prices have been whack before. Like I think you guys are probably right that like prices have been inflating. We know that there's been a problem with like costs of like chips and electronic components, and we know that like the whole world ain't doing so great after COVID. Other than about 1,000 cunts who are hoarding all the money in the world. So other than them, everyone else is struggling, which means stuff is inevitably going to get more expensive. The other thing to consider here is, well, let's look at consoles released from when the Switch launched to now. We've got, PS5, Xbox Series X, a bit more expensive than last gen. We've got Series S, which we know, Microsoft is taking a loss on as well. But they did subsidize that quite substantially. We all know the Series S is kind of a crazy price for what you get in terms of like the specs. And then we got the PS5 Pro. And then we got the PS5 Pro, Caden, didn't we? At a tasty price point of £700.
I'm interested to see how many, like, what the numbers on the PS5 Pro is, because I don't think anyone is really willing to spend £700 on top of the £500 they've already spent on what I believe is probably not even that big of an upgrade, really.
It doesn't appear to be. Like I see the console getting mocked regularly online for like the support just isn't there, and when it is, it seems to be complicated and like have drawbacks. Like it makes frame rates worse and all that. So I don't know if it's hitting the mark that PlayStation was hoping it would. But that is evidence to some degree that like holy shit, maybe the price of components and everything really is going to drive consoles up. So on the other hand, I think £400 minimum. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 450.
Well, I say 450 max. You say 400 min.
I think
said
400
between
min, 500 max.
380 and 400. So yeah, I think slightly lower end. Personally, I don't know.
Really? So you think they're really going to heavily subsidize it to get people in the door?
Yeah. I the more I say it, maybe not, because Nintendo don't really need to make that sacrifice to get people in the door, do they?
It's like, yeah, the amount of people that I know are just going to get Switch because it's a new Switch, rather than a new Xbox. They wait like two years or so.
I don't know though. I don't know.
No,
I don't think it's going to sell as well as the Switch did in its opening window.
Oh
And
no,
I think
I
the
don't
gap.
think it will.
I think the gap will be quite substantial as well. I would say like it does 25% less.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because they've announced backwards compatibility. Like people aren't going to be in a rush to get it. People are broke right now. Like most people are in like economically like struggling, and I just don't see people rushing out to spend 400 to 500 pounds to play a game that they can play on their Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I know the enthusiasts will, because they'll want to play a Switch 10 times more powerful to
I mean,
play
yeah,
the
that's a
Mario
good
Kart.
point. I didn't think about the backwards compatibility because, like I mentioned earlier, like what they're going to launch it with, right?
Mhm.
And people aren't going to spend 400 quid to play Mario Kart.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah.
think, anyway.
If they want to play
No,
Mario
I don't think
Kart,
so either.
they'll just play it on the Switch, because it will be
I mean, and
available on
don't
both.
get me wrong, I'm sure they'll announce a game which is. I mean, I don't know if they're even announcing Switch 2 exclusives at this stage. I think everything is going to be cross-platform. So, but I'm sure they will announce a game which shows off the graphical, but usually Nintendo do that with the gimmicks of the system rather than the graphical fidelity. I'm sure there will be something that people will look at, if you're like, oh, that's the reason I need to upgrade.
Mm.
But you look at the conversations that were going around and everyone was having around the start of this gen, and everybody was saying the same thing. They were like, I don't really feel the need to upgrade because everything's cross-platform. And then PlayStation were like, we believe in generations, and they fucking didn't. So it's interesting now seeing Nintendo following suit there, like a decade later from last gen, of finally doing backwards compatibility again. Because if I'm remembering correctly, Wii U didn't play Wii games, did it? Have I remembered that right?
I don't think
I don't
so.
believe so. No.
Yeah.
Well, because you have to think about it. It has the whole motion control thing. That was, if a whole new console, I doubt they had that kind of functionality.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, okay. And the Wii had some backwards compatibility with GameCube, if I'm remembering correctly. You could even put discs in it as well, actually, couldn't you?
Yep, you could put the smaller disc. I wasn't a much of a Nintendo boy, but there's a really small disc that you could play.
Yeah, that was GameCube. Yeah.
No.
Right. So I don't know actually, like, I don't know how good the backwards compatibility was from GameCube to Wii. I know it had it, but I don't know if there was limitations or whatever. But then they stopped doing it and now they're back to it again. And when they were actually at the stage, like industry wide, where like most console manufacturers are now being like, we'd rather you buy the game, we'd rather you buy the game than buy the new console. We're taking a loss on the console anyway. And I wonder if this is Nintendo like waving that white flag and being like, yeah, upgrade to the Switch 2 if you want, but you don't have to. They're not doing any Switch 2 exclusives. Even PlayStation did PlayStation 5 exclusives. They did Demon Souls. They did Returnal. They did try to create that illusion. Nintendo aren't even trying to. They're just saying you can stay on Switch if you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Xbox got shat on for that, by the way. Just to remind everyone.
Yeah.
PSA.
Yeah, no, it is a very valid point, and yeah, I 100% agree. This thing ain't nearly gonna drop as hard as the first Switch. Yeah, it's not even gonna come close. So yeah, I think I'm quite happy with my price point. I feel like it could drop around that sort of price, because it's still a hefty amount higher than the regular Switch to justify, that leap in graphical fidelity and stuff like that, and being able to play your games at a higher frame rate, all that sort of stuff, without it being absurd. Like people can put that up against other things like the ROG Allies and the PS5s and the Xboxes and actually see that it is lower, like generally. So yeah, I'd say something like that personally. But
interesting. Despite everything, I would land on a pricier place. I do think, I think 400 minimum if I had to put my money on it.
okay.
And then for that price, I mean, you're not far off. That's Steam Deck price, isn't it? Really, back to the joke you made earlier.
Yeah, switch to a Steam Deck.
So yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think he's lagged out. Oh, he's back. He's back.
This poor little guy.
Hi. Yeah, I'm back.
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hold on.
Thanks. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to kind of say here. I mean, I do still think that it will be incredibly successful because it will, it will really make a big zeitgeist for Nintendo. I think it will hinge on the launch software as it usually does, but they obviously have a lot of momentum going into this. It's still going to sell like hotcakes. It will outsell, it'll outsell Xbox in the same time period. Because they're still just making games for the Switch and they're not putting stuff on PC. I do wonder if that day will come. I do wonder if this is their, you've got to wonder, like, is the backwards compatibility thing, the cross-gen thing here, a slight conceit in that favor? Like, especially because this is so much more powerful. They had been coasting by getting profits on their games before because most of their games developed for that console were so budget strapped. Like, and that was the expectation of a Nintendo game. Like, there's no voice acting, it's like stylized graphics, which is all absolutely fine, obviously, but it's like it's budget. Like, it is budget. People don't go to a Switch for a AAA, a conventional AAA experience, So I do wonder, like, with this, them pumping out the next Mario, them pumping out the next Zelda with, like, substantially more expensive tech or whatever. I wonder if that's going to cause any changes in their sort of financial structure. I don't know.
Also, will it just make people kind of expect more from these sort of games as well now that they actually have the hardware to do it? And they're like, oh, they're just doing the same thing. Yeah. Why can't Link have a voice now? Mate, imagine Link with an actual. Imagine Link just saying like a paragraph of text. That'd be so.
How would
weird.
he talk? Yeah,
that'd be so weird. But yeah.
Interesting. I do wonder. Like, I do worry about the Xbox handheld.
It's going into quite a populated market, isn't it?
Now, yeah, they might have missed the boat slightly. Now with Switch 2, your ROGs, your Legion goes, your fucking.
Well, also the Steam OS on the Lenovo the other week, didn't we?
That as well. There's quite a lot to battle with here. So yeah.
Because like to be honest, this is higher spec than I thought it would be. Than if we'd spoken about this 6 months ago, I wouldn't have said it's going to be 10 times more powerful than the Switch. I'd have said maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, maybe 5. Yeah.
So
do we think the Xbox handheld is going to be more cloud focused or actual hardware focused?
No, it'd be native. We know. Yeah, Phil has said it. They want it to be native.
Okay.
Again, it just really hinges on what they're doing. Like, what are you doing? So is this PC? Is this an Xbox? Like, what are we doing? Is the Switch 2 an Xbox?
Could be. It just
Maybe
pops
this is
up
the
on
Xbox handheld.
Yeah, it just pops up on the Xbox ads, or it just gives a picture of the Switch 2 and says, "This is an Xbox." Imagine. This is their time for Xbox Twitter to pop off, do something funny, create a war.
That would be funny. That really would. It would go in line with their messaging in that nobody knows what the fuck they're on about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Probably just fly under the radar. We won't even know.
Yeah, that was a good joke. Funny joke.
Do we have anything else to say about this? Because like it's quite interesting, just like gauging the temperature as we've been talking about it. We're all kind of a bit like, like, there's no, we're not really bubbling with excitement. I know we're not the target audience, maybe, but
that's the thing. Like, I don't think the Switch has a like all of us here have a Switch. Some of us have multiple Switches, right?
We're all Switches.
Yeah. How many Switches do you have, Tim? The 2? Do you and Tilly have one each?
Yes. Yeah, we do, yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I guess maybe we are eventually its target audience, but maybe, like you said, with the Switch 2 being backwards compatible and stuff, maybe that, like you said, they've changed what they're aiming for a little bit. kind of sounds
Yeah,
like.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I got the Switch late. Like, I got it like 3 or 4 years after launch. So it was never like a priority for me. But maybe there is like a killer game that comes out somewhere down the line after a couple of price cuts that does make me think, yeah, all right. Because it was actually Hades. It was Hades and then Monster Hunter Rise on the horizon that made me
Oh,
pull the trigger. When it all came down to it.
for me, actually, I don't remember what I wanted for the Switch, but basically for this new Switch is going to be a new Metroid game because I really want to play the Metroid Prime remaster. But I think now that the Switch 2 is coming out, I'm going to wait for a new Metroid game to be announced, and hopefully, obviously, be on that, and then play the remaster, and then play that. That's what it is. That's what I need to buy a Switch 2, personally.
Why
I mean,
announced?
personally, I
You
hope
know,
we.
Metroid Prime 4 has been announced, right?
Yeah, but like like a time frame, a date, all that shit.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Personally, I just hope we never get another Monster Hunter exclusive to a Switch ever again.
I agree, but
Mm-hmm.
It's not a handheld
yeah.
franchise.
Fuck, dude.
Get it off these cramped fucking screens.
Well, I remember us guys playing Rise, like obviously before it came to PC and consoles and stuff like that. And like I remember like Skype calling you, like we didn't even use Discord at that stage, did we? We were literally on Skype.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, and I was there lying on my bed playing Monster Hunter, like on Skype with you guys. It was just like,
it's kind of crazy.
I agree. It's just not what it. I mean, obviously that's where it. No, that's not true. That's not even where it came from. It was originally a PlayStation game. It wasn't a handheld game. So yeah, I agree.
That is a good point. Because is the Switch 2 gonna have social features? Is it gonna have party chat? Will they be joining us in in this century, or not?
I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think they'll put too much effort and work into it because I don't think. Again, I just don't think it's the audience hopping on to join a Switch party and play some frag punk. I just don't think that's a thing.
But they could. They've got like Splatoon. They've got Smash
yeah, that's what I'm
Bros.
saying. Like I'm sure. I think they might put it in, but I don't think they're gonna go like silly nuts on it and like invest like super hard in the infrastructure and everything. Like I don't think they're gonna try and like make their own Xbox Live, so to speak. No.
And I mean, it's a fair point, isn't it? Because they did perfectly well this gen without it.
Exactly.
But maybe like there's a really interesting. I'm not going to go into it in a lot of detail, but there was a really interesting report this week. Who was it by? Can't even fucking find it. Who are you and where are you from? By Matthew Ball. Don't know who you are. I'm not sure who you work for, but everybody seems to be retweeting this, so there must be some degree of authenticity to it. Maybe a journalist or something. Anyway, put together a bunch of numbers on basically the decline of console and the growth of PC. And I wonder if Nintendo are also flagging that. They're like, well, what's making PC so appealing to Zoomers, maybe Gen Alpha as they're getting a bit older now. And I wonder if social features are a part of that. Like, it's going to be crazy to me if we get to 2026 and Nintendo still doesn't have some sort of integrated way to talk to friends. Well, I cannot believe that halfway through the Switch gen, they were like, we've done it. Basically, get on your phone and call your friends. I can't believe this.
Yeah. Type in their number. You know their number, 07. Yeah. And then just give them a call. It's easy as that.
Yeah. Our
1,
design.
2 switch.
We came up with that. That was us.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree, but that's what I mean. I think they might just have it in there to check a box, but I don't think it's anything they want to go. Yeah, I don't think it's a priority for them. I just don't think a lot of Switch games cater to that sort of play style of hopping on a Discord call or hopping in a party chat playing. So it will be there, but it will be there to check a box. In my opinion, it's an MVP.
Interesting. Okay. Is there anything else to add here about the Switch 2? It's a big
I
day
don't
for
think
video
so.
games. It's a big day.
Mm. I don't think so.
I still
wasn't
think
that
it's going to have
blown
a
away by it.
controversy.
What do you mean?
That's
I
part of
want
your
like
prediction, isn't it? You want Switch controversy, don't you? Well, Nintendo.
gonna
Was it
be Switch
Nintendo or
controversy.
Switch?
Switch 2 has a controversy. Those
what
are
you mean,
words.
like it catching fire and shit? what do you mean?
Maybe not, but yeah, we're not going like quite tin fat Hoyle. Whoa!
Tin Fat Hoyle.
Dude, I
Is
just
that a new one?
had my fucking
Is that
Gilvin
Gilvin
Fruity
Fruity?
moment. Yeah, I
Gilvin
did.
Fruity.
Tin Fat Hoyle. Let's go. Don't worry, Tin Fat Hoyle until you're Gilvin Fruity. That's what I say. Right, I'm gonna try again. Not quite tin foil hat. That was Jesus. That should not have been that difficult. I think I need to get a good night's sleep tonight.
Tinfoil hat. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think it's just going to be loaded with like IEDs and or like have a camera in it or something. I wonder if it does have a camera in it. Nonetheless, maybe that would be controversial. I would say.
Do you think it'll still have its
Well, it
pointless ass fucking touchscreen that I always forget my Switch even has a touchscreen?
I use a touchscreen.
Yeah,
brother. It's like the fucking. It just leaves fingerprints on the screen that you're playing on. I don't.
You should lick him off. Yeah.
You're fucking iPad kid, aren't you? Jesus Christ. No, I literally forget it's there. It's like sometimes I like accidentally hit it and I'm like, what just happened? Oh yeah, I forgot this thing has a touchscreen.
Yeah, but Beth managed to break her touch screen because it got a bit wet and it just hasn't worked since, and it doesn't change anything.
It's still just a Switch. Yeah. Pretty sure she could resell it on and not list that as a defect, and it would never come up. So weird.
I don't know. They'll announce something weird, like whether it's a high price point, or which isn't necessarily their fault, because like the PS6 and whatever Xbox console is next are gonna be like 600 quid, maybe 700 by the time we get there. Like I truly believe that. So, but yeah, I'm banking on something. I'm banking them for something. Doing something wrong. We'll see. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's just get onto the Dev Direct. I think it's the dawn of the final week. Isn't it? Dawn of the final week.
I'm so excited, dude. I'm so excited going in spoiler free
to get surprised. Yeah. Yeah.
Going in without any information.
Well, you know what, Ken? I would say, stay in the dark then, because there are things out there.
I am going to stay in the dark. It's lovely out there.
Stay in the dark, like a specific profession that kills people.
Like a ninja.
What?
I don't know what you mean. There seem to be a couple of spicy indications getting thrown around at the moment around what's going on with the surprise game. There's nothing confirmed. We haven't had any hard source. For the sake of my friends, and because I know there's some really in the weeds reliable insiders who seem to have leaked something about this, and I don't really want to spoil it for my boys. It's not super confirmed. It's not super confirmed, but I think once we start opening that, maybe we're in spoilery territory. So I don't know. Okay. I'm just a bit. I'm a bit gun shy talking about
a lot of times. I don't want to hear anything until it's main. I don't like looking for, I don't like looking for spoilers. I like news and stuff, but I don't like looking for, especially for something it's 7 days away. Like, just let me have it. You know what I mean? Like, let me just be excited.
7 days away.
Do you not kill one a day? Is that not what you do? Is that not what...
Not in this country.
Oh.
There are laws against that kind.
Got it.
I kind of don't want to be spoiled either. But
the only information I have on the leaks is you, and the fact I'm making jokes about if it shows up, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad at you, and we're going to be live streaming it, so I can actually express that opinion on you very loudly.
Wow, loudly. It's not often loud.
That doesn't even make sense, because that doesn't even make what you're saying.
It does
doesn't
make sense. It does.
because I haven't
You
said
leaked it.
anything to you.
You did.
No, I
Last
didn't.
week you did.
No,
and
I
then
didn't.
This week
No,
you
I
did.
didn't.
Yes, you did.
So this whole paragraph
Anyway.
that you just wrote, is that spoiler territory that I've just read?
No, that was published by Windows Central.
Okay. All right.
So
Don't
it
get
was
sassy. I
published.
was asking you a
Well,
genuine
I'm just
question.
saying, like, it's out there. Like, it's out there. It's out there, right?
I was
No,
just
for
asking a
me-
genuine question. I didn't phrase it in any way. I wasn't.
So we can speculate in this bit. I think that's fair
Okay,
to say.
all right,
This isn't
fine.
spoilery territory. This is what is being said by outlets. Quote. There's also a mysterious fourth game. I won't spoil what it is, but our sources indicate that it is a new entry in a legendary Japanese IP which has decades of history, which should make a lot of fans happy. Now, that can mean a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
That can mean a lot of things.
Hmm.
The net is wide.
Okay.
Resident Evil, Persona,
Does Persona have
Final
decades of
Fantasy.
history?
Yeah, there's 5 of them.
Yeah, but when
And
did
why
the
would
first one come
Capcom
out?
do an Xbox Direct?
I don't know why would Square Enix show off Visions of Mana for the second time at their show.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's going to be an
wild, man.
exclusive, Caden. It just means they might just have a preferred platform, or there might be some sort of marketing deal. I don't know, but yeah, interesting. I mean, Resident Evil 9 is in the works. We're aware it's being made, and will be the next entry point. But yeah, because Village, when was Village now? Like 2022, 2020. I don't know. It's a couple years. It's a few
older than that.
Years old,
Village is a
2021.
little bit older than you think.
No, I was only 1 year old. Oh, okay. Yeah, so 2021. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe a Resident Evil 9 sort of deal. Again, it would be a bit strange to see it at an Xbox Direct. Be kind of jarring, be kind of weird. I feel like something like Ninja Gaiden is like, I could see that happening more at an Xbox showcase than I can a Resident Evil 9. And maybe a Persona as well, but I don't know.
I remember a while back we spoke about, I don't know if you guys remember this, like ages ago before one of the showcases, there was loads of rumors swirling around about a Blue Dragon remake.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard about this. I've heard about that.
It never happened, and I don't know. I do wonder if like is something happening there? Who even made Blue Dragon?
It could also be Square Enix, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, is it? I was thinking Square Enix.
It could also be like the next like Final Fantasy or something like that. Like genuinely, like not the like
The next.
no, not
only like.
No. I was literally about to say like the next remake they had planned, because I think they've got like a lower scale remake going on for another title that's not quite to the same degree as 7 remakes, but I think it's rumored to be like either 8 or 9. I think so. You could see that. You could see Xbox just snag a nice little marketing deal with the next Final Fantasy remake, Final Fantasy 9 remake. Which should be hype.
I mean, like, clearly Square Enix are getting a bit cozy with showing stuff on the Xbox platform, and I think Phil is very interested in getting them on the stage with Xbox because they want the world to know, like, look, we get Square Enix games still. Please don't forget.
Yeah.
I think the only Final Fantasy game that I'm going to like actively go and buy and play would be X.
Yes. It's my favorite game of all time.
Yeah. That's the only Final Fantasy game I can say that I've played and enjoyed.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Doesn't it suck?
Huh?
No. Ooh.
No, it doesn't suck. Final Fantasy X is
Really?
a very revered Final Fantasy game.
Revered, is it?
Wasn't it X1, 2, and 3? Isn't there 3 different?
No, there's only 2, but we don't talk about
2.
X2.
Okay.
We don't talk about
Okay,
that.
right.
We only talk about X. Don't play X2, Caden, please. Just
No,
stop at
I
X.
just it was from a kid, and I remember playing
Yeah.
X.
But yeah, Final Fantasy X is amazing. But I don't. That won't be getting it. If that got a remake treatment, I'd be like the happiest person on planet Earth at that moment. But I don't think it will.
As I've been saying for what feels like 2 decades now, I would try Final Fantasy. I'd do it.
We've got plenty of platforms to try it on.
Now's a good time to try, surely.
I'll open up that brain of mine.
I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy X is actually on Games Pass.
No, but I want to play the good ones, the new ones.
Oh, the good ones. Wow.
Dude, there's fucking 16 of them. Like, come on.
Yeah, but fine.
Play them in order, dude.
If you want if you want the cinematic
I'll play the Pixel remaster,
then play 16. Because I can't remember. Did you ever play? Did you play DMC5? Did I get you to play DMC5? Yeah. And if I recall correctly, you actually really liked that game, didn't you?
I kind of liked it. I think I gave it a 7.5. I thought it was I kind of liked it. Yeah.
7.5 is scarily low for DMC5. You're probably one of the only people to rate it.
I didn't love it. I thought it was a bit clunky, but I think it was a hard jumping in point for someone who's never played DMC.
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
But I could see it. Like, I get it. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Doesn't sound fun.
But yeah, I mean, what are your... Actually, no, I was about to say, what are your kind of feelings on this deck? But you're a fucking leaky pipe, so...
No, there's really nothing I can say that would, like, not...
I don't want to hear it anyway.
Okay, no one want to hear it anyway, and I'm going to respect those wishes. But there's nothing... The thing is, there's nothing I could even say. Like, it would just make it obvious that there really is nothing I can say.
But then there's all these things, because, like, there's all this, like, secret fourth game and stuff like that. But, like,
yeah,
I heard there's rumors, like, we might even... Is it going to be, like, a separate announcement? But, like, the Oblivion stuff might be coming as well. But, like, would that happen in the direct, or do you think that just might be an announcement outside? Because if then you're going over 4 games, like, you're doing 5, you're doing 6 at this point, like...
Supposedly, Nate the Hate, it was the big leaker boy, always right about everything. Supposedly he's saying, nah, it's coming out this year, but probably not getting announced for another couple months. So, you can never be super sure, but
I would totally play Oblivion. I never played Oblivion.
And I was so good.
Oh my goodness,
as well.
Yeah, Oblivion was so
totally
good.
Up for that. I remember watching my older cousin play it, like as a kid. It's one of those weird core memories.
Yes.
I remember him playing CS:GO, or CS, whatever, CS. I don't know, fucking 1.6 or whatever. I remember watching him play that and Oblivion. It's just in my weird childhood memory.
Yes.
And I would love to play Oblivion
I'm
as
the same.
an adult now and see what it's about.
I think we're probably like all of the same age where Oblivion was the one where it really hits the nostalgia gland. It really gets that receptor going.
We weren't probably gaming. We weren't obviously hardcore gamers then. I think we were realizing that we liked games.
Yeah. Lowercase G, not uppercase G.
Yeah. I mean, I played a lot of Oblivion. Like, I remember like beating it several times. I did like the Thieves Guild. I did the Dark Brotherhood and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I would be pretty hyped to play that again. But yeah, it just hits me like a wave whenever I think of Oblivion. Just immediately I like picture all the fucking Daedra, the Scamps, I love the Shivering Isles expansion as well, and I thought that was so good. Like the area that it put you in, because it was so like colourful and cool and unique, compared to the rest of the game. It's very orange. You're just basically in hell most of the game.
Yeah. Like I didn't, because I played Oblivion a fair bit, and it was really my introduction to like RPGs in general, like obviously Bethesda games. In actual fact, Oblivion was one of the, when I first got my 360, my dad got me Oblivion, COD, World at War, and maybe one of the Forza games, Yeah, maybe one of the Forza games. And I was like, Dad, you've done fucking well.
That's
I was
a,
like,
that's a, that's a fair.
Yeah, you
If I
popped off.
if I get my dad to get me games, it'd be fucking God knows what it'd be. Golf.
yeah, I don't know. He
It'd
must
be
have just
Force
because
raiding. I don't know what the hell would
Top
be
tier
good.
Riz from Daryl.
knowing my dad, he'd have just like rocked up to like several gaming shops to be like, right, my boy 14 wants an Xbox. What shall I get him? You know, and like there'd have been a dork behind the thing, like,
Yeah,
fucking get him
really.
Oblivion and Call of Duty.
Yeah, if you're listening, guy behind the counter that served Daryl back in the day, you popped off. You popped the fuck off.
You killed it, man. You killed it.
My 360 was a hand-me-down from my sister's ex.
Huge.
Funny. Actually, I remember, I've got a funny memory about that actually because I got the Xbox for Christmas and I had my grandma around, and I was buzzing. I was so excited, and I plugged my Xbox in that night to like play a bit of COD. And my dad doesn't really know what's going on. I don't think like he knew COD was shooty, which is like fine, whatever. He can hack it. I think it was a 12 plus or whatever. And
COD was not 12 back in the day, especially not
maybe it
World at
wasn't
War.
actually World at War. Yeah,
What a war
World
you
at
blown
War.
my
up
dad
limbs
broke
and
the
shit.
law.
There was a lot of lens flying around.
Yeah, I remember bouncing Betty's and stuff. You used to blow off legs and
Whoa.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It is actually, isn't it? Yeah.
Some
Wow.
nugget fetishes.
Huh. Maybe that's why I'm so messed up.
Maybe.
I'll find anyway. Maybe.
What I say about me?
Anyway, and I opened up, and I don't know if you guys remember the opening cutscene to World at War, but it is a American soldier getting his fucking eyeball burnt out with a cigarette, and my grandma was sitting on the chair like, oh, oh. And I was like,
does he slice the throat of a guy in front of
my
you?
dad was like, turn it off, Declan. Declan, this is too much for your grandma. Turn it off. And I was like, Dad, I want to play. And I'll just kill him. I'll kill him after this.
I'll fucking burn your eyes out, Dad. Leave me alone.
You fucked up.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so that was my funny memory. But most of the memories I have about Oblivion, Tim, are actually just sitting on your black leather sofas in your playroom and just watching you or Dom play.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's most of my memories of Oblivion. I particularly remember Dom having an orc build doing the arena. That's just like something which is like
he loved it. He loved the gladiator arena. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the opening as well. You have to like escort the king out, don't you, out like through the sewers or whatever. If I remember that right.
Yeah, because you start off as a prisoner and then you pull the chain and it's like a secret door and you go down and it's like, oh,
thank God.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank God there's a secret door down here.
Yeah. And then
yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff. Like I want to bounce back into this because we've got like a little bit of a topic, which is our final topic for today, about Oblivion and the possibility of a remake. But I just want us to wrap up and finish on the Dev Direct, because what is being implied here, quote for quote, this Xbox Developer Direct might be a lot bigger than Microsoft is letting on, and that's coming from Jez Corden, which is obviously editor over at Windows Central.
Mm-hmm.
A lot bigger than Microsoft is letting on doesn't just say to me the fourth game that's a surprise is a fourth game that's a surprise. That says to me there is a fifth, which we discussed the possibility of last week. That maybe they do have an extra surprise, and I do wonder what's going on there. Definitely don't know. I do wonder.
I mean, we do love a one more thing, so
yeah. So that's exciting. Either way, I think it's shaping up to be a really fun show. We've got a lot going on. We've spoken about the surprise stuff, but even without that, we're still looking at Doom, South of Midnight, Expedition 33. I think this will be a fun show.
This fucking guy.
That's got to be a new record, dude. He's done it it's the third time he's had a network issue. But
it's not even a network issue. It's just him being too flamboyant. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, head in hand.
But I mean, yeah, I'm quite excited about this one, and I'm quite excited that we're going to live stream it as well. I think it'll be a good time. Well, assuming I can get my shit together and actually set it up so we can live stream it. Because even when I had it set it up last time, we had some serious issues, and I don't know why. So we might have to do like a little test run and see how it goes. But
Well, could we not just do what Deck did then and share a screen, or is that illegal? Oh, you can do that, right?
it's not illegal. It's fine. No. We maybe. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out.
Yeah, obviously I don't know. I'm not. I just sit here and
The setup we have to do, is usually different because Tim has to capture the screen. It would be weird if I did it because our audio channels, like it would overlap with our audio channels, Caden, if you see what I'm saying. So it would be on the same channel as.
Yeah, it would just be a case of just whether or not, I can just have that much going in OBS and stuff. But yeah, maybe we'll just give it a little dry run. Like, I don't know, we'll just hop on for 15-20 minutes, play a video, talk, and just see how it renders it all and looks live and stuff. So
yeah.
Shouldn't be.
Maybe it might be worth trying like on for like half an hour just on like a day before because it starts at 6. I know we're all going to be like rushing after work and whatever, and then we're on the countdown because like the show's counted down. We're like, it's not fucking working.
because we should probably get on at like Q2, shouldn't we? So we can just like just talk about like
At least
just do like a last minute like bingo kind of thing and just what's going to go on or whatever. But and also just get our shit together. But no, I'm excited for it. I have to admit, I think it's one that I feel like it's the first one that I genuinely have had like a lead up to where I'm like, I'm not really sure like kind of what surprises are coming here. And I'm quite excited. I don't know. It's just because I feel like we haven't had anything for a while like this. Or I just feel like the road has been a bit more suspenseful for this one. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, as well, like we've been conditioned pretty well at this point. Like, I'm sorry, their shows have been pretty good for a while now. Like the showcase, as we all know, was received very well. We had a great time. The developer direct last year was also really good, and obviously a year before that with Hi-Fi Rush and everything. So, like, I think there's a good and we know they've got so many games to show. So it's a good like. There was a while there for Xbox when they had these shows, and we were like, it's mostly third-party content, and then like Halo Wars 2 and Gears Ultimate Collection, Ultimate Edition. Sorry,
that was rough.
So, whereas now that's just not the case, despite everything else that's going on with the platform. The shortage of games isn't one of them. Okay, anything else to say about Developer Direct before we go on to the final topic and sort of swing back into Oblivion to talk about some things that have popped up there?
Nope.
Okay. So, we had an article posted by MP First that they had acquired some details of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake, which, again, to remind you, is still not officially announced. It's been leaked and talked about for like years now by Virtua Studios, who usually do a lot of ports and stuff like that. And what seemed to be being implied here is that actually this is closer to a full remake rather than a remaster, which is music to my ears.
Yeah.
Because if this was just a thrown together 4K up-res with like a tweak here or there, I wouldn't care. I don't expect this to be like a full from the ground up remake, but on the continuum of, remaster to remake 0 to 100, I would want this to be maybe a 70 at least, in terms of things being touched up. And they've said here that the gameplay improvements that they found out about include reworks to stamina, stealth, blocking, archery, hit reaction, and HUD. But I think gameplay overhaul. Maybe gameplay uplift overhaul, visuals uplift overhaul. I assume they're going to keep all the same sounds and music because it's like it's a little bit iconic. But guys, I don't know if you guys have seen Oblivion gameplay since like the game looked bad.
I've seen lots of memes from Oblivion, and they're all spectacular. They're it's gold. Every single Oblivion meme is a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
In particular, you thought the NPC zoom in was bad in Starfield. Like Oblivion,
I hope they keep
somehow
like
worse. It's so like
it's intense. Yeah. So someone literally just grabs you by the neck and pulls you in.
Yeah. No, it really is.
How I communicate with people. That's
This is how I like to talk. Yeah, I kind of hope they keep that though. I like sure with like nicer graphics and all that kind of stuff, and maybe some nicer facial animations. Just make it just tweak it a little bit. But I kind of hope they keep those elements that just are just the core of what the game is a little bit. Yeah.
One of the things that has cropped up as I've been kind of researching Oblivion and all of that, like I say, because I don't remember that much about it, is that apparently the leveling system was really controversial. And to my mind, it was just the same as it was in Skyrim, which is like the best kind of leveling system, in my opinion. Uh,
You
you
do something over and
organically
over, you
get
get better
skills.
at it.
Yeah, it's easily exploitable. Fine, I think that is Bethesda make games like that. If you want to, you fucking can. But I liked that. You do the things to get better at that. That always felt really organic and natural, and encouraged you to try things to get better at it. And it gave you kind of this sense of mastery, not just in your mechanics, but in the skills you unlock. But maybe I'm wrong. Do you guys don't remember anything about that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Did it have?
I kind of do, but I'm quite hazy on it. I'm literally trying to dig through my cerebral cortex right now. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to read about it, but it's really just glazing over me. I'm not like I can't make heads or tails of what people are like really saying. But I suppose the sticking point here is like I wonder if that's something that they will have touched as well, considering it's something that people regularly complain about. Like you would have thought that they maybe have touched that up too.
Yeah, but like potentially, yeah. Okay, so hang on. The character's major skills. The only way your character level advances is by gaining 10 levels in any combination of the character's major skills. On the 10th advance, you reach the next level. Apparently, that's how it works.
Complicated as fuck. Yeah, that
sounds pretty convoluted.
Yeah. It was kind of weird. I do remember it being kind of weird.
So you have to level. Like you have to be a little bit of a generalist, to level up.
Yes, you have like your 10 core things, and you need to do if you were to do like as many of them as possible, you would level up quicker, if that makes sense. Like spread yourself thin.
Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting because that makes me think that the way that they designed the game was that you had to be a little bit of a jack of all trades. Like I'm sure that you could specialize, and we know that, but like they want you to put a bit of points into alchemy because maybe that's present in the story, or a bit of points in this because it's present in the story. I can't remember, but maybe that was what they were going. So what I'm trying to say is maybe it wouldn't be possible to rework that because like it's so inherent to the the loop, but who knows?
It'd be interesting. I don't know, there is kind of a part of me that I'm just quite happy just having everything.
You're just nostalgia, aren't you?
Like not like I want everything to look better, and I love that they put hit reaction in there and stuff like that, because I know that Oblivion, like you're literally just slicing air, nothing happens, blood squirts happen, but the enemies don't react like at all. Like that's how it works. So that, and like with like blocking, like you actually like feel it on your shield and all that kind of stuff, some HUD improvements, the game just looks better. Everything else I'm kind of happy remaining the same. I don't mind the leveling system. Like sure, it might be a bit convoluted, but at least it's kind of different as well. Like at least it still kind of separates itself from the norm, even if it is a bit quirky and a bit kind of shit. Like the face zoom ins and all that kind of stuff. I kind of just want that all to be the same, personally.
Interesting, because it's just reminded me actually when I know Oblivion was like touted as one of the more hardcore like RPGs at its time, and especially the ones out of all Bethesda Game Studios did. And one of the things that actually happened in Oblivion, which I don't think I knew at the time, but like I now know, it's just come to me. The combat in that game is like a dice roll. Do you know what I mean? Like the higher your combat skill, like a dice gets rolled in the background for if it hits. So you're slicing a boy, it just might not land.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, I think
I
the same
never knew
goes
that.
with like bows and arrows as well. Like you can shoot at someone and hit them, but if the dice rolling ain't hitting, then you're not getting the hit.
Yeah, if the DM ain't being nice, you don't
Yeah,
do
exactly.
anything.
So like it
Okay.
is interesting to see how that sort of shit has aged, you know, because we've kind
Mm.
of in a way we've kind of horseshoed back round to it with Baldur's Gate 3, you know, like bringing that back in, but it's
Mm.
communicated a lot more clearly in Baldur's Gate 3 versus something in like a first person
Yeah, because I
RPG,
never
you
even
know.
knew that was a thing. I just assumed if I was close enough to hit it with my sword and I swung 5 times, I hit it 5 times. I guess
Yeah.
my child brain just never thought otherwise, and I haven't
Just keep swinging.
researched it as an adult to know that happened in the background. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. I am definitely interested to see like not just like how this looks and how it lands, but I'm really interested to see in like because this is the sort of thing that is either an easy win or it's like Xbox, you fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like this is a cash grab.
Why the fuck did you
You know,
bother?
super
Yeah.
buggy. What? Yeah, what's the point in this? Like it can really go one of two ways. So like I am curious, like if it does well, like optimistically, like I don't know. Like, could this be something which is like quite celebrated? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how these sorts of remake because the only thing I can't really think of that many other remakes that are more towards a remake
Hmm.
rather than a remaster that are celebrated with a lot of fanfare. I know people speak very highly of the Demon Souls one.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I can't think of any others.
celebrated. Yeah. Maybe
I
not.
think it was two
But
1-for-1.
Metroid.
Is that when that was the complaint, wasn't it? Demon
I think
Souls was
so.
2 1-for-1.
hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't. They made it look very pretty, but I think they kept the game
Yeah,
too
everything
similar,
else was the
and it was
same.
obviously an old game.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think that it might not hit like the celebrating woo amazing, this is the best thing you've done all year sort of thing, but I do think it's also quite hard to fuck up. I feel like if they do fuck that up, that's pretty bad in my opinion. I feel like it's quite a nice safe bet. I feel like it's a nice juicy little layup. I don't think it's a slam dunk, but I think I think it should just be fine, you know.
Yeah. It'll be quite hard to like royally fuck up.
Mm.
yeah.
We'll see.
I think its biggest hurdle is the fact that it's like you know Bethesda games are Bethesda games. Like they always feel they weren't as bad back then, but they always feel like a bit dated and a bit clunky. And you back then, you know, you were willing to forgive it because it was so like ahead of the curve in so many other areas. And like I do wonder, you know, because I think we saw the
Yeah,
same.
you're right.
I think we saw the same criticism in Starfield. You know, it wasn't that like a lot of those things like the character zoom ins and breaking the flow of gameplay were like bad per se. It's just it felt kind of dated, and then that's just usually how Bethesda does it. And actually, all of a sudden, coming up against these other big hitting RPGs like Baldur's Gate and some other ones I'm sure I'm forgetting, it made it feel really old actually. So, you know, so I do wonder if those same criticisms will carry over. You know, we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the record, like Oblivion was like I don't think there's even a Metacritic score for it, but you know, it's like there is 94. You know, and when I look at Demon Souls, it got like a pretty similar score. Its remake to its original release. When I look at the Metroid Prime remake, it got a similar score to its original release, like in the 90s. You know, and when I'm thinking, will that happen here? I have my doubts.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think we've kind of covered everything here, guys. Is there anything else that we're missing? Any other closing points on Oblivion?
I think
Nothing
so.
for myself.
Close the doors of Oblivion.
Nice. Get rid of you, Daedra.
Close the doors of Oblivion.
It's at these points I wish he would disconnect.
Yeah, it's always the last like 30
Like, why do we
seconds.
get this shit? But then when
Yeah.
he fucking talks or he's in the middle of something, he disconnects.
Yeah, he won't disconnect now, will he? He's in his zone.
He's holding it in right now. He's making sure it's not going to come out.
Yes, I have. This is it. This is the most important bit of the whole episode.
Can't
Have you
have this
stayed
drop
this
off.
long so you can hear Deck's outro?
And I think this is an extremely. I think also, I'm so glad Deck doesn't host the stream at this point.
I would never end it.
Yeah, we would never have a full episode.
I'm like, guys, join in with me. Join in with me. Bobby. 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 I just want to go. No, come on. Yeah. It's probably for the best.
Yeah. You popped off though, man.
Yeah. Thanks. It's a good one, though, isn't it? It's like a jingle. That the old Elder Scrolls jingle.
Should just take that, and we just take that soundbite, and that's going to be our intro music now from now on. Screw the little jingle we've got right now.
And you guys shouting in the background.
Oh, actually, yeah. I was going to ask
yeah,
if maybe we
ruined
could
it.
chip in the background, but no,
No, we left it.
What is this shit? What is this shit?
No,
Yeah, I like that. I like it.
No, we kind of left him to pop off for a little bit though in silence. So I feel like we could just loop that. He had a good 5 seconds. He was fine. We're good. It's saved.
I like that. I like for a moment there, you were just like, you know what?
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see where he's going with this.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Let him cook. Let man cook.
I think he's got a point.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
Man.
Unfortunately not.
All right. Fuck off. A lot of yous. See you next week for the Dev Direct.
Yeah, let's go. Dev Direct. Same time, right? We don't have to alter anything. It's literally just.
Nice.
Well, I guess we'll be on maybe like.
Well, we need to be on a little
20
bit
minutes.
earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I finish at 5:30,
A
but
bit.
like, let's say like 5:40, something like that.
Nah,
Yeah.
I just think just get on as soon as we can. And
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
try the day before or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's all good. Sweet. All right. Yeah. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.